Jeff with Shout Out Minnesota, and we are here with
Chris Hawkey. How are you?
Chris. Thanks for joining us today. We're at Lakes Jam 2015. I wanted to get your take on the crowd today. It was pretty busy out there and pretty loud.
You know, it's this is special because this is the third year of Lakes Jam here in Brainerd, and we've been lucky enough to be here every year. First with Rocket Club, and then the last 2 years with the solo project. And this is kind of our homecoming. It's kind of we call it our Super Bowl. It's not the biggest festival we play yet. It's growing. It's going to be the biggest festival we play because it just every year the crowd gets bigger. But I know the family, the Brahms, so well, and this is my crowd, if you know what I mean. So it's wonderful. And this year, as opposed to being as a local band, you end up opening a lot of festivals. You're the first band on. This year we were able to be the second band on. It means the crowd's a little bigger and the sun's going down, and it changes a lot. It changes the feel of everything. So that's great. And just having so many people in the crowd actually know the songs, it's a wonderful thing.
Sometimes the worry counted out rises up in the moment of truth. Sometimes the underdog comes through. That's right. Sometimes the underdog is you, and that's why you never give up on your dreams.
During the song Underdog, which is a special song anyway for me, I found myself getting choked up again, which has been a while since that happened. That song is a very emotional song for me anyway, but looking out in the crowd and seeing people that I legitimately don't know their faces singing the words to that song, it's a very emotional thing. So I just love this place. I love this festival, and I love moments like that. It's the entire reason I do this.
You were very interactive too with the crowd. The crowd loved it. Coming down off stage in the pit there and taking selfies during the performance too. That was great. That's I know the crowd really liked that. You also said that this was the third year, and you've played every single year. You were the only artist that's played every single year. What's that feeling like?
It's great because you know, as I was saying, we've built up a following here in Brainerd and with the people who come to this festival. This is great because, you know, this is really the only festival we play all year where you have country one night and then rock the next night. So you get so many people who are open to so many different facets of music. And, you know, I completely admit it, our records are just barely country, you know. So you get the people who like it because they hear it on the radio and on the country stations. But you get people who come out and say, I'm not a huge country fan, I'm here to see Boston tomorrow, but I'll give this band a shot. And then you rock them enough, you know.
Yeah.
And so I love it. And again, you know, you see those faces out there in the crowd singing, and it's great. And to see the Brahms and the people who run this festival growing like they are. We knew this was going to be a big year for them. The crowd out there is unbelievable. Tomorrow's going to be great as well, and from what I'm hearing rumors about what's going to happen in 2016 here.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking tens of thousands of people next year, so it's good to be a part of it. And I just hope they don't get too big for Chris Hawkey is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I noticed you had a moment on stage there with Jerry and giving him a nice guitar, and they gave you these hockey-style jerseys, which are pretty phenomenal. I liked them, so sporting those pretty well. That's a nice gesture by him and a nice gesture by you as well. One thing I also want to bring up too is the John Mellencamp. Big influence to you?
The biggest. I mean, I grew up in a little town in Indiana as well, even smaller than the one he grew up in. He was from Seymour, Indiana. I'm from a town called Union City, right on the borders of Ohio and Indiana. And, you know, just one of those towns that is the cliche, to be honest with you. My mom and dad both worked in factories. Both those factories, when I was little, went to Mexico. And the town just died. And I can remember many a time, I should say, standing in the unemployment line and with my mom, you know, thinking, I don't want to live like this, you know. And
right.
Again, it sounds cliche, but I would hear Mellencamp sing about being from the small town, and Rain on the Scarecrow, specifically that album, you know. There's a song on there called Minutes to Memories that in the really dark times when I was a little boy, I would listen to that and I would think maybe, you know, if it's possible for him to get out of Seymour, Indiana, maybe it's possible for me to get out of Union City, Indiana. And again, I'm 44 now, so my ship has sailed. I'm very excited and very lucky and very happy with the success, you know, that I've had, not only in the band but on the radio as well. So I don't know. I just feel grateful, and I feel like I've been able to not get all the way to where Mellencamp went, but I've been able to use him as a springboard, kind of an idol, to get myself out of that small town and to try to achieve something. And so he's been with me every step of the way. You know, I've never met him. I probably will never meet him, but he's been with me on every stage I've ever been on.
What age were you when you started to say this is it? This is where, you know, I wanted to pursue this.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you were to ask my mom that question, it goes all the way back to when I was 6 or 7 years old. I always sang, and it's weird too because nobody in my family was ever in a band. Nobody in my family ever sang or anything like that. But we always loved music. My dad's punishment for oversleeping on a Sunday morning was literally sneaking the speakers into my room and turning Kansas on as loud as he could turn it, and then setting the record needle down and boom, and just scaring the crap out of me. So all I ever did was walk around singing. And the impetus to me ever joining my first band was there was an ad in the local newspaper, a classified ad for a band looking for a singer. And my mom said, "You got to call. You've been talking about this your whole life." No, I'm not going to do it. So my mom literally dialed the number, waited for somebody to say hello, and handed me the phone. And then she drove me over. I was 15 years old. Drove me over to the audition. I was terrible, just terrible. First song I ever sang ever in front of anybody was "Never Say Goodbye" by Bon Jovi. I was scared to death. But somehow I got the audition. And it's funny because years later, I'd known these kids for a long time, and Mikey Weaver, the guitar player, said, "You know the only reason you got in that band?" And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because you had a Kiss t-shirt on, and we thought that was pretty cool." So I literally, I was terrible, but they let me in the band because I had the right t-shirt on that day.
There you go.
So, you know, that was it. That was the start for me. And then, you know, I said it on stage, but my mom and dad told me, "You can stay out till 3 in the morning, but you got to go to school tomorrow. And you better never drink, and you better never do drugs, and you better go to school and get good grades." And I played by their rules, and I snap your fingers, man, and here we are. I'm 44 and playing on stages that I always dreamed of playing.
You know, one of the messages that you gave to the crowd is never give up on your dreams, and that's just basically the model for you, it seems like, and you've had quite the success. And it's grown, and it's gotten bigger, and it's catching on, and everybody knows who you are, and if they don't, they will. I mean, it's one of those deals.
You know, and I don't fool myself into thinking that they only know me because of my music as well. You know, the thing is, as weird as this may sound, it's all about building your brand. You know,
yep.
I've been just so lucky because my B job. You know, my second career is the greatest job ever. It's being in radio, doing a morning show, you know. That was my fallback plan. It's a pretty good one. But I've been able to, because of help from my manager Sarah and so many people, combine what I do on the radio with what I do with Snowcross on television in the wintertime with the band, and it's all become one big giant thing.
Looking at you.